welcome to the next room. Yeah. Welcome to the next room. From the field on my way to the next room. Welcome to the next room.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Next Road. I'm your host, Vernon Davis, and today, my man, my guy, Ron Boss Everline.
Man, I appreciate you. What up, man? I appreciate you having me on, man. I'm a big fan of you, man. I'm excited to be here. Shit, look at me, just raggedy, just over here looking like I ain't an expert at doing the podcast. But nah, man, I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to talk to you. A fan of everything that you did on the field, what you're doing off the field. So anytime I have a chance to have a conversation with individuals that have excelled at their careers and are literally taking on the next chapter of their life, man, I'm excited and looking forward to this conversation.
No, I appreciate it. You don't mind me eating a little sugar bar, do you?
No. Do what you got to do. You got to.
I know you be smacking these bars out of people's hands, man. I already know.
Listen, I know you're still in shape, so I know who to pick with and who not to pick with. I know you're still in the gym active.
So Ron, look, check this out. I didn't even know this, man. I didn't know. It's not until you sit down with somebody and you understand who they are. So that's what I love about this podcast, man. I've had so many people on here and getting a chance to like dive deep. One person in general, Tommy Davidson. I don't know if you know him, a comedian.
Yeah, of course.
So he used to be in my house when I was young. He was always downstairs. I didn't really know what he was doing or who he was until I got older. I realized, how special he was to the world. But he shared his story, gave me his background, told me a lot about him, and I didn't know any of this stuff, man. And it's great to be able to dive deeper. But you played college football.
Yep, played college football, man. I wanted to go to the league. I mean, my whole family made it to the league. Derek Johnson, 15th pick, went to Texas. I admired him. That's my first cousin. Bert Emanuel, Ben Emanuel, Kevin Emanuel played at Florida State, went to the league. I mean, I got a long list of NFL family members. I thought that was going to be the path that God wanted for me. And then it pivoted and, I got into the training field. But football is my first passion. Football was my everything. It's how is what I thought my life work would be to motivate the world, man. And I still feel like I'm playing the game. I'm just playing a different one.
No, that's dope. That's dope. So how did you feel when you learned that football the next level wasn't going to be your calling? How did you adjust?
Yeah, it was tough. I mean, it was one of those things. I think I was a bit of delusion, a bit real strong delusion towards like what I thought. But I was kind of like so in denial. Because I wouldn't watch the game. I completely blocked it out of my life. I wouldn't, somebody want to go watch a football game or go to a game, I just wouldn't do it. And I just got so busy with trying to create value and create work that football, I had to fall back in love with the idea of being around athletes that made me love football again, by being able to be excited for my friends that were in the league or my family members that were in the league. But it was a bit delusion. I didn't give myself time to really think about it. I just really jumped into hard work. Like my feet hit the pavement until they hurt it. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm gonna beat the ground. I'm gonna beat the concrete till my feet hurt the slab is what I used to say.
Who'd you model your game after?
My cousin, Derek Johnson. I mean, I was, he was punching the ball out. I was trying to hit stick everybody at that time. Man, they come out with his stick. My cousin was one of the most elite linebackers, won the Buckets Award at University of Texas. And I admired kind of watching him play the game. I would watch him before my games and get excited to just go out there and just be free on the field.
No, that's dope. That's nice. Who was your favorite team?
Houston, Texas. I'm from Houston, man. I'm a hometown guy. I got to represent Houston at all times. I just love the game overall, but you gotta go where you're from, H-Town. You know what I mean? All day, every day.
And so what made you get into the direction of training celebrities?
It wasn't my direction. I didn't even, that wasn't, I think it wasn't, I think God kind of led that to me. I was training athletes. I was training youth. I created a program called CJ the Workout Kid, kids teaching kids how to be fit. It blew up and became a big thing. I was, at this time I was living in Atlanta. My cousin, Dwight Johnson, Derek's older brother, we had opened up a gym and we were training youth and I created boot camps. And one of those ladies, her husband was Neo's manager, asked me to come on the road for 3 months. 3 months turned into a few years. And it pivoted. As I was, interesting story, I didn't want to be a trainer. I had been trained my whole life. Interesting story as I was pivoting to move to Saudi Arabia. Interesting conversation. They had said, "Hey, you want to be the road manager?" And fitness was taking off, and I was like, "Nah, man, I love this fitness thing. I think this is my life's work." And it was one of the kids' dads that kind of told me when I was kind of training him, I was trying to be a jack of all trade. Again, football was taken away from me. Really didn't know what I was going to do. I had a landscaping company. I was trying to do everything. And he came to me and he was like, "Hey, man, like." You're really good at this training thing. You should really focus. You're all over the place. You're a jack of all trades and a master of none. Like you can't focus. So I said, look, if I focus on training, then I can diversify my portfolio, which I hope, which is what we'll get into a little bit today. But that's really where that mantra came from for me. It's like, once he told me I needed to focus on fitness and training, I said, I'm gonna be the best at it, the best I can be at it. And that's where it all came from.
Yeah, do you feel like so as a football player, we have resilience, we have everything, man, when it comes to being able to stand the test of time, especially when it gets hard, you know what I mean? Do you feel like your backstory, your background helped you shape you into the person that you are right now?
Percent. I think, I know, and I don't like to talk about a lot of I knows, but for me, my I know is number one, my mom. My mom passing away, and I lost a brother. And then the game, right? The game of football taught me the game of life, right? How do we overcome things didn't go my way? Doesn't mean you get upset. How do you pivot? Ball gave me foundational principles of how to work with people I ultimately didn't like, but had a common goal was to win. A lot of time people get so caught up in the like or dislike of someone that they can't operate at an optimal level versus operating at optimal level because there's a common goal, and that common goal is to win. And sports taught me that. The goal is to win. You know what I mean? And that's winning in life. And so I just pivoted that. And so when people see my fitness, I just gamified fitness. I wanted to gamify the way I connected with humans. And then that's what gamified how I do business. And so that's what using fitness as my vertical to transition to kind of how I did deals. Sports has been the anchor to everything that I do. And that's why I'm still very connected to a lot of athletes because I'm an athlete at heart. It never leaves you because that's who I was and that's who I am, just that mindset of being resilient, pushing through, not being so emotionally connected to certain things. It's that don't remember the last play. You got to be focused on the next one, right? So that shapes who you are if you allow it to be a better human and a better man to the world and to your craft as you continue to build on new things.
Yeah, I wanna send my condolences to you, man, for your brother and your mother, man. I I totally know what you went through. You seem like you've healed and or maybe you're still healing, but you seem like you're in good spirits. But I lost my mom, then I lost my brother Vontae, who played
Wow.
he played Vontae played 10 years in the NFL. He was a first round draft pick.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, but he was the kid who retired at halftime. He was
I,
he was
yeah.
he was the very first athlete to retire at halftime.
I didn't know he was the very first athlete, but I knew that was your brother, man. And yeah.
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 So he died, then my sister died, 28-year-old sister died a month after him. So
Wow.
I had like back to back to back, man, and it was crazy. You know what I mean? It builds character, it builds us up as human beings, and we can go forward and do a lot of the things that you're doing now.
Yeah. Well, my condolences to you too, brother. I mean, look, I tell people that we become victors, not victims, right? And we allow those moments that seem so decapitating for so many to be vessels for so much more for a greater later. I wouldn't ask anybody to lose a loved one, but how do we use it as a power source versus being able to, putting us in a position to not continue to operate at optimal level? And so man, you're doing the work by thank you for saying what you said and sharing that with me because I can see the power and we got to continue to stay strong and lead from the front with the problems and the things that we've had to overcome ourselves.
No, absolutely, that's right. Um, and on another note, sorry to get sidetracked and get all emotional on you, man. My
Yeah,
fault, man.
nah, man, I love it. I love it.
I'm not gonna cry or anything like that. All the tears. But who was your very first client?
My very first client, I mean, that's celebrity client or client.
I say celebrity client.
My very first celebrity client was Neo. I started my career with Neo. Went from living in Atlanta. I'm from Houston, so want to be clear from Houston. But I was living in Atlanta, building my career. To that point, my client that was in my classes, her husband was married. He's Neo's manager. They took me out on the road, moved to LA. I thought it was a 3-month job. That 3 months turned into 3 years. In that period of time, they let me go because I wasn't hard enough. And I'm like, me not tough enough? Neo was like, he just be letting me do whatever. And I'm like, me? And I was like, all right. They brought me back on the road, and that was history. And Neo's still my brother today, and I credit him to so much of my success. Like I tell people all the time, I'm so thankful for him and the things that he was willing to take a chance on me at that time as well.
And when did you realize that Just Train was more than a slogan? It became a lifestyle. When did you realize that?
Man, it's really surreal. Just train again, as football was taken away from me. I'll be honest, the name of my company, I always never wanted it to be about boss. I always wanted to make it about the individual or the people. And so the name of the company, our athletes, it was called Total Player. I wanted the athletes to be total players, right? Total, educations, have your education, have the wittiness and have the game. And that makes you a total player in life. And then as I was in Miami, I never forget, I was in the studio on Twitter. They was, everybody, you got to get on Twitter. You got to get on Twitter. And I ended up getting on Twitter, and I was like, man, just train. Just shut up and just train. And that's the truth. It was literally just shut up and train. Just shut up and train. And as I was just continuing to go through my journey, the just train, the mind and the body will follow came, right? And that's where the mental element of like, you don't accomplish nothing in life if you don't train your mind, right? Everybody thinks the mantra like, oh, let's just be brute and strong and go to the gym and be crazy. I was trying to overcome what we just talked about. I was trying to overcome shortcomings or these downfalls, the things that the world put on you. And just train the mind and the body to follow really stepped into that place of where you have to conceive it before it ever happens. And just train the mind and body to follow, the brand kind of took off and went beyond what I thought it was going to be. Like I'm boss that works at Just Train. You know what I mean? The brand, the gyms, the other guys that represent Just Train. I want this to be an example for so many other athletes and people in this world to say, your mind first, the body will do anything that you're supposed to be doing. And we're very, very thankful to continue to grow the brand bigger than me. And that's where it all came from. I didn't have this deep idea, like people like, oh, it came from this. Nah, I was just delusional. It was about, all right, again, to that point, it was about training. He said, I need to focus on training. And then ideas start to evolve and things start to come together. And that's where I'm at today too. And the pure authenticity of allowing things to shape what they're supposed to be versus trying to say, I got the answer right now. Like the creative process for me is like, man, I'm in this is dope. And then ideas start to spawn out. And then all of a sudden you have some magic piece. Just Train has been able to take me across the world to train some of the biggest figures in the world and have trainers, chefs, and therapists. Most people don't know that we have trainers, chefs, and therapists that live with families for us. And it's been a true blessing.
No, that's amazing how you say that because I I I like that because I tell everybody's always asking. I get people coming around all the time, like especially football players, guys I played with. For 14 years, I would hear this, like guys didn't know what they wanted to do, right? And just like me, I kind of just went with it, right? And I tell everybody, if you do exactly what you think you want to do, even if it's something you're not passionate about, what's going to happen is everything is going to follow, like it's going to shape. So somebody said that, like, did God make people first, or did He make the world? He created the world, then He put people in it. So whatever's
Yes,
there for you is already there. It's already waiting for you. You just got to be ready for it. You know?
absolutely, bro. Absolutely. Totally agree. That's amazing. You're right. I love that.
No, absolutely. So how did becoming a father shape your approach towards leadership, business, and health?
Man, patience. I think being a dad has taught me patience and more understanding. I got three boys. They're all different. I have to approach them different. I want them to be better example. I want them to be better than me, and so you got to be, I'm super dialed into who they are and what their personality traits look like versus just trying to say, what does dad want you to do? I'm looking at what their strong suits are. Dad will ultimately try to drive them to their own personal success. But just learning them versus trying to inflict my will or my wife's will only. And then it just makes you realize that health is so important. You're living for something beyond yourself, and my kids have given me another sense of purpose to continue to build something that keeps the legacy of family going. And it's emotional because when we all leave, you want to leave something that is better than you, or something that represents you. And so, been very, very that my boys are true examples of what I want the world to be able to see. And when they speak about their dad, they'll be the legacy to say, my dad taught me these core principles. And that's what matters to me the most.
That's powerful. The legacy.
Yeah, the legacy, man.
And no, that's big, man. It means tells me that you I don't know, you just on your way of thinking. It's like you're locked
Yeah.
in.
I'm trying, man. Look, it's all an effort of just trying to just be the better version of myself. You don't know what you don't know, and you know what you know, and you still don't know. And so that's kind of where I'm at. You think you have some wins, and then you realize, like, you know, okay, there's another chapter to not the wins that the world celebrate, the wins that are internal, the peace, the things that bring you joy and value. To just continuous the effort of the patience that we talked about. I love this thing. I have control chaos. And some people are like, what does that really mean? Like, I love the chaos. I love the banter. I love the shit talk. I love all of it. But it has to be in control. We compete to uplift. And so I want to learn from my peers. I want to be a student of the game. And so a lot of this comes from just being a vessel to one another. And so that's what's exciting about living. And then I get to take what I get to learn from my brothers and sisters around me to pour into the kids and my kids and other people around.
No, that's awesome. And you got to tell me about this. Look, I wanted to ask you this question before, but everyone see the relationship you have with Kevin Hart. It's comedy, man. It's comedy. It's like it's really it's motivating. What's the tough training day you had with Kevin Hart that no one seen, like behind the scenes?
Man, I mean, just to unfocus you. Man is busy. There's a lot of shit going on in the life of business that, he has going on. You know, it it's nonstop. I mean, on the phone in the middle of a session, you're trying to, do your job. So, that's when the cursing out comes and, I'm on his ass and he's talking trash to me and we go back and forth. A hard session would be it's more just wrangling him into not be on the phone. So that's why we train at 4 or 5 in the morning. Just because it's less distractions. Obviously, our days are super long between what we have to do for some of the things that we have going on. But the sessions, but that's my brother. Most people don't know me and Kev go back. I met Kev in a barbershop when I was playing. And the same barber that cuts his hair was cutting my hair at the time, who still cuts both of our hair 20 some odd years later. Kev saw me on the road. I was living in Saudi Arabia, came back, and our relationship, we just hit it off like fire. 14 years back, it's been 14 years now. And we've done some amazing things together. So I'm very, very thankful to be able to see what our relationship has evolved to be the shit talking, the banter, the compete to uplift, what people don't understand. Most people have seen us. If you watch the Netflix documentary, you saw me and him fall on a plane. That was just one of many that we've, got at it with each other. I don't talk about it much. I had a lot of people ask me a lot of time, like, man, we want to hear about this story. We'll pay. I'm like, nah, bro. Brothers go through stuff. We argue, we fight. That's just the one y'all saw. And that's the extent of our relationship. We always pushing and pulling on each other to constantly be better.
You know what? Speaking of brothers arguing and fighting, did you see the incident that happened between uh, Judy, Judy and Shador?
Nah, what happened?
So it was a game, and Jerry Judy, he went up to Shador Sanders, and he kind of just like got in his face on TV. He was like, he just got up in his face, and it was like, it was like everybody has something to say about that. And if you get a chance, go back and watch. Because and then later on, Shador and Jerry, they were saying that, hey, brothers fight, they argue, it's part of the game. But there is ways that you handle certain things at certain
Yeah,
moments. I wanted to ask you about that, but you didn't see it. But you go back and check it out when you get a chance.
I will. I gotta see it now. You just put it on my radar. I gotta see it.
Why is the future of training more mental than physical?
Man, the world of training right now is so mental. Everything is mental. The blockage that everybody think is motivation is really comes down to discipline. It's the mindset. The mental side of it is it's gonna get having a trainer is or anybody, a motivational coach, AI is taking over in so many different ways and it's so smart. Things are going to become so easy. You have to make sure your mental is dialed into yourself, self help. And so, mental health and mental wellness and mental, that physical, is who makes us up as our person today to go out and accomplish all these other things that we're ultimately trying to accomplish in this life. And so we have to take care of our mental so that our physical can be a representation of who we are, taking when we take care of our mental. I tell people a lot of times, discipline, the world rewards discipline, right? But when you walk into the room, the discipline is on you, right? Between the way you think, the way you talk. It's not just the physical, it's how you carry yourself. It's the things that you're investing into who you are. That mental wellness is something that representing opens up opportunity because it's how you articulate yourself, how you move, what your disciplines are, what you're consistent of. And people want to be around that. And when your mental's sharp, people, it's attractive. And when that's attractive, the floodgates open up.
Right.
Yeah.
Floodgate. That's right. Hey, your personal daily routine. What's your personal daily routine, including like just everything, spiritually, physically, whatever it is?
Yeah, man. We living in this time. I put this disclaimer out there. Like, I don't wake up in the morning for the internet. I wake up because that's who I am and that's who we are for our schedule. I never forget Kobe said, I used to wake up at 4:30 in the morning, be in the gym at 5, and that shifted after a Kobe moment. And Kobe was like, I wake up at 3, I'm in the gym at 4, and I just need that competitive advantage between what I'm competing for. So it's not what I'm not doing that. Our schedules are busy. We're traveling. We're flying around, and it's our discipline. It's what we're anchored in is sacrificing our time. That's all we have. You sacrifice your time for the currency of return or whatever that is. That's that feel good. That's that mental, not all monetary. A lot of times, I wake up in the morning. I try to go get my workout in. I make it back to my house. I listen to a podcast. They have these AI podcasts right now. And what's his name? Napoleon Hill. I'm listening to Napoleon Hill on YouTube every day. I come home, I try to make sure that I'm in the house in enough time so that I can see my kids every morning, and spend a little bit of time with them and give them a hug and make sure that they're getting dressed. And dad's here. My wife kind of manages our house, but she doesn't she manages the house. But I make sure that the presence is felt because dad is gone a lot of times, or when I'm home, it's not like dad's so focused on work. And so, so she takes them to school. I go to the gym for about 2 hours. We have a gym here in LA, and go there for about 2 hours to make sure the team sees me and that I'm constantly representing the hard work. So I'm not training a bunch of people every day. I go in and then I head to a bunch of meetings and kind of shift it from the gym to the boardroom, which is kind of some of the conversation we're going to lead into. But that's kind of what the regimen looks like. And I try to be home for my kids' bedtime. And I try to make as many bedtimes, and then if there's dinners or things, I do it after my kids go to bed.
So it sounds like you know how to prioritize.
I'm
Prioritize
sorry.
is extremely important, man. A lot of people don't know how to do it. So I applaud you for, taking those steps and, just being a leader pretty much.
It's tough, a lot of times you're getting pulled in a lot of different places right now. But me and my wife have an understanding. When you kind of leading in my career, man, I used to be at dinners from 5 to 7, 8, missing my kids' bedtime, and in the morning, I'm missing them in the morning, even though I'm in town. I just said, "Hey guys, I can't meet till after 7:30. Can't meet till after 8." And it shifted a lot of different things because it was important to say, "No, I got to lay with my kid," and because soon they won't want me in their bed, right? So just trying to take advantage of these moments.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. And then in scaling Just Train from an idea to a multi-million-dollar global brand. Like how did you do that?
I can honestly tell you one of those other things of just waking up every day. Um, Foot to the pavement. I had an idea where, some of the companies that I've partnered with or have equity in, like C4, we just celebrated 10 years, using that talent to pay my team, and just really being delusional about what Just Train could be, not taking home income, really investing back into the people that were believing in this vision. And then, we opened up LA, then we opened up Atlanta, and we're about to open up more. And so just train became more than just the gym. It became my golf course. And so that's really how it shifted because, this brand and this persona of who I was, people, EOs and all these different guys were coming to say, I gotta get that just train workout. I gotta see what it's all about. And before you know it, we were after that, then we were sitting in meetings and they were talking about how we can do deals. I came up with a concept with JP Morgan Chase called financial fitness. And Kev is a part of that face. And we built this really unique thing, and that's going to be a 10-year relationship. Chase has been a great partner, but that starts from just train. That starts from the gym. That starts from the mindset. And so our just train just kind of grew. And I can tell you that I was delusional. I knew that I was doing something to grow it. You just don't. I can't tell you that the blueprint was written, and every day I woke up, I knew. I just was like, okay, I had an idea, activated on it. I didn't overthink what it was. And so it compounded. I read, there's a book that I like to tell people to read called The Slight Edge, The Compound Interest of Life. That you're on the curve of success or the curve of failure, and they're both just as gradual. And if you aren't paying attention to those small things that you're doing every day, you look up and you'll either be on this curve of failure or the curve of success. And that's really what Just Train spun into. I was just like, every day I'm gonna chip away. Every day I'm gonna chip away. And a lot of times, people want to say they had the answers, and I'll just be honest with you, I didn't have the answers. I just knew that every day I was gonna chip away. And you've heard this. You see a lot of guys with a lot of talent. Hard work doesn't guarantee success, but it damn sure gives you a better shot at it. And that was what I was always banking on. You one of the best tight ends to ever play the game. But, you saw guys that had talent and you'd be like, damn, he working hard, but something wasn't, you know what I mean? So you've seen it. And so they wanted to be in your position. They wanted to be able to say, but sometimes it doesn't work out that way. And, so that hard work for me was just that competitive, that the things that when people don't see what am I actually doing?
Yeah, and you talk about the little things. The little things. You're a strong, firm believer in that the little things are always more important than the bigger things. Correct?
Absolutely, man. I got like that's that the small things are like who shape you, who people see you to be, who you're becoming, what you're thinking. I've removed negativity. I mean, it comes, but I don't spend a lot of time on negative conversations or people. Because those are the small things, I fester. I want to help people all the time, and so I can't help everybody. So I minimize myself from certain conversations. Sounds very selfish, but then I can't serve the way I need to serve if I'm focusing on things that don't serve the higher power of what I'm trying to do. And so just minimizing a lot of the smaller, but focusing on the things that matter and really honing in on what's that help and what's those, again, how you have conversations, how you take meetings. A lot of times I'm taking meetings with not looking for an outcome, building relationships, doing different things. And those are the small things that people don't see that build success and opportunity.
That's amazing. And yeah, you spoke about opportunity too, how you took Just Train, training people, and then it led to one thing after another. And then you pretty much capitalized and brought your creativity in and made it bigger than what it was. So that's pretty brilliant, man.
Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate it. And I appreciate everybody that's either, I like to say this, that is either that's with us today working with Just Train or was with us. Everybody played a role and is playing a role into who I'm becoming and what this company's becoming because the things that I did right and the things that I did wrong play an effect on how much further we're gonna go if I do it right to those compound effects of like, am I paying attention to the small things on that curve of success or failure?
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. That's pretty brilliant. See, and that's why I said before, like seeing you from afar, seeing you on social media and knowing who you are, I didn't know all these things about you. Like I didn't know you started the brand and then walked it in and just kept building off of what you had, the opportunities that came to the forefront. So that's amazing, man. That's good stuff.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate that, man.
And what advice would you leave for young entrepreneurs, someone who wants to walk in your shoes?
Man, I think just be a good steward. Be less transactional. Be less transactional. I think a lot of times we're looking for a transaction. We're looking for something in return versus giving more. And that's really what I focused on. I focused on being my true, authentic self, showing up, being a giver, and while knowing opportunity exists on the other side, right? I tell people all the time, use me, don't misuse me. You're in that position. And I just want to give a example talking about how we built this show, Boss Moves, right? This show, Boss Moves, that is now out, where we talk about from the gym to the boardroom. I always knew I wanted to do business, but that going back to that guy that told me to focus on fitness, listening to some of those voices, and you know when they're telling you the truth, and don't jump ship. Look, I got offered. I've been partnered with C4 for 10 years, which is one of the largest energy drinks in the world, and the number 4 energy drink in the country. That opportunity, when people offered me more money to leave, I said, I'm going to stay with these guys because they bet on me. A lot of times, these young entrepreneurs or young guys, people coming up, they jump to the next financial opportunity and not realizing you're building a story. Stay focused on your story. And being able to go back in 10 years, I've been able to sign a lot of athletes. I'm an executive at the company. But NutriBulk, which is public knowledge, which is the HOCO, here Dr. Pepper came in and gave us a $3 billion valuation. And I was in early. You know what I mean? And I want people to know what you don't know. You got the discovery of, I didn't know, and I've been able to be in this opportunity, and me and Kev's a partner. And, I've done stuff with Marshawn Lynch. I've done stuff with Lil Yachty. I've done stuff with Saquon, bringing people inside of this brand and so many others, right? And being a thought leader. Even if it wasn't about pay, I was just going to call, hey guys, hey, let's build. I was a builder. I was like, hey, it wasn't always about me. And so I think a lot of times when people are on a journey, you have to be selfish at some point. But if you're selfless and you work and you building an ecosystem that continues to grow, you won a Super Bowl, you win a Super Bowl with a team, and everybody has a role. But we get so caught up in social media of like, it's mine, it's mine. That's why I can tell you all the trainers that are on Just Train, I want to see them better than me. But you got to be able to say, look at the blueprint, because everybody thinks success is so easy obtainable. There's not a lot of guys in the NFL that has done what you've done. You know guys that make it but ain't done what you've done. You know what I mean? But people got to pay attention to that. And so I'm just a guy that just woke up every day and believed in a dream and delusional, but I don't ask for much. I give more than I ask for. And this is not, I don't know what's going to work. I just tell guys, just be authentic. Don't in a world that's so fake, whatever it is, man, show up authentic. Show up as yourself. In a world will reward their disciplines, because it'll continue to show up the way that it's supposed to.
Yeah, you talk about being selfless. I had to learn that early on, back in maybe 2007, 2008. I was playing under Coach Singletary, Mike Singletary in San Francisco, and he sent me this national rant he had, where he sent me to the locker room on national television. And he stood at the podium. I'm in the house with my kids, their mom, and I'm laying back in the bed. I see Singletary on ESPN. He's like, I can't coach him. I'd rather play with winners. I want someone this all, it's about the team and not about themselves. I can't do it. I'm scratching my head. I'm laying in the back. I'm like, man, this is crazy.
Yeah.
So go in the next day, and he was just telling me about how selfish I've been, and I got to put the team first. It's not about me, bigger than me, and that's where I learned my lesson that, hey, life is all about others. It's not
It's
about me.
about,
Everything
yeah.
I do, everything that's into, everything that's going to happen for me is for others, the ones behind me, my kids, my family. You know what I mean? So
That's a beautiful thing. I'm going to say one thing, if you don't mind. I'll never forget when I was playing in college and my coach said, you don't know how powerful your cancer. And he kicked me off. And I was like, bro, what? And he went in and said, you can challenge me in private. You can't challenge me in public. I was this loud. Everything he said, I wanted to be back and back, back, back. And then when he said that to me, it hurt. He like, it's spread. You're a cancer. You just spread everything you do. Everybody want it. And I'm like, oh shit, I got to be really, and that's 20 years old. I'm like, oh, I got to be responsible. And that's around the same time you were going through what you were going through. And I think we're better for the world today. It was literally, I'm 41 years old. It was literally around the same time. And I can tell you, man, I'm so thankful for that moment, right? Because today we both get to sit here and talk about how we want to serve and do better. Still with ego. By the way, I still have an ego. I still love to talk shit. I still love to challenge. I still got all of that. I just know how to serve. Like, I'm never gonna, I want to live dangerous. I want to be somebody that competes at all times. And, but I understand how to turn it off and turn it on.
Wow.
And be more about the people, but also know when I want to go and compete with my friends and uplift them to be better and talk about the wins of life. Or I want to celebrate guys like you. I want to celebrate people's win because it motivates me. Like, I love seeing people do amazing things. Like, don't be a hater. When people have hate in their heart, there's no way you can climb the ladder. There's no way you can climb the ladder when there's hate in your heart. I know to be true, you cannot be happy and be, I know some unhappy, some successful, unhappy people, but what I'm saying is for us, man, I just want to look at people and be like, man, I'm proud of you because it doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect me to see you win. I want to see you win. Even if I don't like you, I love you. So
That's dope. That's big. Yeah. Even if I don't like you, I love you. That's right. That's
even if
wisdom.
I'm like
Hey, that's wisdom. A lot of people. You 41, right?
41, 84, you already know, we locked in.
84. 84. Yeah, there we go.
That's why I said, by the way, when you said it, I said it was right at the same time. I knew.
Yeah, yeah.
I knew that Mike said, I knew when that happened.
No, I appreciate it. Hey, do you feel that social media is a huge platform for trainers to become entertainers and entrepreneurs?
I think it is the most amazing platform for people to allow their talents to show, embrace it. Trainers have a unique position in everyone's life. You're a therapist, you're a mental coach, you're a physical coach. People trust their trainers. If you do right by it and know how to do things the right way and not gossip and manipulate, man, trainers could really lead and do so many different things. You've had trainers, you've trust your trainers. Like, it's a special place. And I tell people that decide to get in this world, don't do it for a short term, do it for a long term. Don't be 1 foot in, be 1 foot out. Really live this life. Just be a good coach and be a good steward of people's energy. And if someone comes in, I tell people all the time, if you come in with bad energy, my job is to be happy. That is literally my job. I cannot be in a bad mood as a trainer. You are signing up for someone to transfer good energy and good positive vibes to an ultimate goal. I've never been in a bad mood with a friend. It's like, no, I got to put that shit to the side. Life happens at home, but this is work. Trainers tend to want to gossip and no, man, focus on the client. We're in the service industry. I tell people all the time, people should need you in the beginning, want you later. That's it. And that's what me and Kev have built. And so a lot of times this platform is so special and we understand that health and wellness is they're saying it's at an all-time high and trending like it's never has before. Opportunity. And if you don't have a personality and charisma, AI is going to take your job
Yeah,
or
no,
some type of personality.
absolutely. And what's your craziest behind the scenes moment on a movie set?
The craziest behind the scenes moment. Man, we have so many moments. I mean, I've been on some of the biggest sets between The Rock. I mean, challenging the Kev and The Rock to always work out together is one big thing that I've always done. Just talking trash to those guys. I mean, okay, what most people don't know, Kev challenged me to who can run the most miles in a month. And made me come to set every day. And I ran 300 miles in a month and I really humbled him to understand. So one night he ran 23 miles while we were asleep, and I was up on him 27 miles and on a movie and on Jumanji actually. And so I woke up and was like, bro, what did you do? He stayed up all night. He was running, so I stayed up all day. I ended up running 26 more miles that day. It took me about 6 hours to run 26 miles, but that was those are those crazy movie moments where we just like challenging each other, and I ended up pulling away from him so far, and like literally when I tell you like we were running real miles on the street, like running. Like I want to be clear, like we were running the streets. And I made him humble himself out of that movie. We was hurting, I was chafing, I was running a lot of miles. I'm not a little dude. So it's some crazy stories, but just challenging each other. Movies we consider boot camp. So we always going to movies, this reset our mind and focus. We're training early, we're training at night, we're doing it all.
No, that's dope. That's dope. I know you got to get out of here, Ron. So I'm gonna get this rapid fire for you and
Okay.
up out of here. I
That's it.
appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man.
Let me ask you this. Founder of Uber or Airbnb?
Uber.
Would you rather tackle Derrick Henry or Brandon Jacobs?
Ooh, Brandon Jacobs.
That's a big boy. He played me in San Francisco.
Know him too, so that's why I said that.
Coffee or energy drink?
Energy drink.
Favorite comedian, Kevin Hart or Mike Epps?
Kevin Hart.
Ah!
You weren't gonna give me. That's my. Yeah, you already know.
Okay. Bad Boys of the Town.
Bad Boys.
Okay, if you had a choice, would you train or play in the NFL?
I'll train. I love what I do.
See, okay, okay,
I
okay.
love what I do. I'll train. I love where I'm at.
Would you rather have 50 million and a Super Bowl or 300 million and no Super Bowl?
300 million.
Hey, that's what I'm
Hey,
talking about, man.
give me that money.
Greg Wright's on here, man. He talking about he rather had a Super Bowl. Come on, man.
Nah, man, give me the money. I could do a lot for a lot of people.
Yeah, man, what you talking about? You from Mississippi. He from Mississippi talking about he rather had a Super Bowl. Man, you better take that 300,000.
Could do a lot for a lot of people. 300 million.
Exactly, 300 million. That's what I'm saying. You better take that. Man,
All day.
tripping. No, that's dope, man. That's dope. I appreciate you, Ron, man. I appreciate you, bro.
Yo, I appreciate you having me on, Vernon. Much success to you on this pod, man. And I'm looking forward to kind of seeing you continue to evolve and take this thing to the next level, man. I see a lot of opportunity. I've been very blessed to be able to see this entertainment world and a lot of guys come in, man. And I think the door's wide open. So kick it in, go get all of it, man, and just keep knocking this shit out, bro. I'm excited. I'm excited to see the next
Appreciate it,
chapter.
man.
Thank you for
Hey, I
having
got
me
a
on.
question for you. Are you with Pathwater?
I'm with Pathwater. I know you're investing in
Yeah,
Pathwater
yeah.
as well. I
I was
invested.
with Pathwater too. Yeah, that's right.
I
Okay.
invested as well, man. So yeah, we've done some things. That's why I say this is exciting.
Yeah.
I've been seeing some moves, hearing your name, and I'm excited. Obviously, we've connected in person, but I'm excited to, I think there's a lot more from this conversation and things that we can continue to build on too, bro.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you for having me on.
Welcome to the next row.